Yo guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing my personal review and comparison of the two online games, Shell Shock and Krunker. You probably have heard of them. Now before we even start, I want to apologize. You probably noticed the low frame rate on the gameplay of Krunker that's playing right now. And that's just because my recording software only captured it at that rate maximum. But anyways, Krunker and Shell Shock are both first-person shooter games that can be played for free on Chrome. I'll be talking about the pros and the cons of each, and which of the two I prefer and why. So first, you can tell by the gameplay, we're going to start off by talking about Krunker. So if you don't know, Krunker is a fast-paced, it's a pixel first-person shooter. It offers a multitude of maps, game modes, game options, and characters for players to choose from. And each class in Krunker is unique in its own way, requiring different playstyles and strategies. No matter what your playstyle is, there is probably a class for you. And this variety of classes really brings a lot of life and oftentimes frustration to the game. The game itself is simplistic and easy to pick up though. As you may have noticed from the gameplay, I'm only level 2 in the game. It's not like I hop into matches all the time and grind this game. It's a good game to sit down with friends and just scream at each other. But in the end, it's just all about fun. I genuinely rarely actually play public matches, which is the reason I don't have levels. You don't earn experience in private matches, which is what I'm doing. Another thing you don't earn in private matches is KR. KR is Krunker's currency for in-game cosmetics. The cosmetics can be character decor or skins, like skins for your weapon and stuff. And you can spend KR by either going to the market, where people will sell skins that they have for your KR, or you can spin like a wheel for a chance at some RNG loot. I personally never got to use the store, because you need to be level 20 to use the store for some reason. I'm not really sure. So, anyways, you might be wondering why I only play private matches, and that brings me to Krunker's fatal flaw that somewhat brings the entire game down. And that's cheating. As a Chrome game, Krunker is very vulnerable to hacking. It's very easy and it's free to acquire cheats for Krunker. It's so easy even delicious reviews could do it. And it's very hard to handle the problem. It's genuinely difficult to get into a full public match lobby and not have a hacker in it. And, well, yeah, that's pretty much why I don't like public matches. But really that, and a few other things, are the real problems I have with the game. Other than the fact that Krunker lacks a few concepts that I think would be interesting to the game, like grenades or class abilities, it's pretty alright. So now, Shell Shock. Shell Shock is another, I don't even know what to call it. It's a first-person shooter, but you're an egg. Shell Shock is surprisingly the complete opposite of Krunker. Shell Shock has some similarities, like the ability to use in-game currency to customize your character and your weapons, but pretty much everything else is different. Shell Shock has a few maps, but no classes. Rather, Shell Shock just lets you choose from one of its 5 or maybe 6 weapons. The playstyle for using these weapons is also really strange because of Shell Shock's design. Because Shell Shock tends to be slow-paced in almost every aspect. Whether it's movement, respawn times, grenade throwing speed, even bullet speed, everything is slow. I had a big problem with this at first. Coming straight from Krunker, this was completely unexpected to me, and it was difficult to grasp. Especially where the game forces you to be slow. You see, it's regular in a shooting game that as you move faster, or really dramatically, your accuracy for your weapon is dramatically increased. However, many games will let you bypass this to an extent by using ADS. Krunker does this pretty well, as it contributes to the fast pace of the game, and it makes it so that camping and using turtle methods puts you at a disadvantage, which is good for a fast-paced game. But looking at Shell Shock, ADS does practically nothing. One of the hardest things in the game for me is the sniper rifle. This is because of this weapon accuracy deviation. The game requires you to completely stop moving in order to fire straight. This is especially hard with the sniper rifle. It's not as noticeable with, for say, the shotgun or the SMG, but with the sniper, it's very noticeable. Another thing that is particularly noticeable with the sniper is the game's bullet speed. Rather than using hit scan, Shell Shock creates a bullet particle whenever you fire. And this particle is very, very slow. It's almost impractical to shoot someone that's moving with the sniper because of it. And I know, blah blah, you can just aim where they're going to be. But you really can't because of the way aiming down sights without moving works. The only time you can use the sniper is for shooting other people who are also just standing still with the sniper. So all it's good for is camping. And I hate camping, because it's especially bad in Shell Shock. Due to poor map design, like 30% of the time you spawn in, there will be someone inside of where you spawn waiting for you so they can kill you. Either that, or where you spawn will be directly in the sight lines of everyone in the map. Even though the game does give you a state of invulnerability, during the first few seconds of spawning, you can't fire for some reason during this period. All this stuff just makes Shell Shock kind of disappointing, because I feel like Shell Shock has some potential, and if worked on, it could be something playable. Shell Shock has some good things that Krunker doesn't, like grenades and actually playable public matches. But if it wasn't obvious by my immediate statements of Shell Shock, I feel that Krunker right now is the superior game. This is so dumb. I'm going to bed. Good night. Thanks for watching.